Alright, so we're back again. Approximately 6 months has passed since I actually started this section of this build. So like cutting this out, there was snow on the ground, and I mean, that was spring and it's fall now. Yes, I'm looking at a watchless wrist. And we have forecast for snow next week. So it's been a whole 2 seasons pretty much. But yeah, this is the intro piece. In this video we're going to be cutting the door, putting the door in, welding the door frame in, painting the floor. We're going to basically go through all of it. Talk about a couple access hatches we're going to have, like a cable transit down here, and then an exhaust fan and some other stuff, then the one in the rear. Alright, hey, so time to go over how I laid out before I made the cut. So this is before the cut, but I'm talking about my layout. So the door I purchased is exactly 37 and 7/16 wide is its actual rough on the outside. And then to translate this over here, first I thought, okay, the hole I cut, there's going to be 1/4 inch of steel on either side welded in, so you add a 1/2 inch, and then you got to add a little bit of wiggle room for the door because you can't make it perfect. So that's how we get to just over 83 inches, so like 83 and 1/16, 83 and 1/8 is kind of what I have laid out here on the wall. But how I picked what part of the C-can to cut so that I'd be welding on the exact same face of this rib side, so it just would look good, and the prettiest welds, the easiest welds will be on the outside where you can see them once they're painted in the very end. And the ugly, harder angle welds, I guess, anyways, it's what I'm going with, are on the inside, and I'll hit them. So basically I found a center of a section so they line up on the edges I wanted them to, marked it, went either way on the floor, marked either side, so right there that's 38 and 1/8, 38 and 1/16 roughly. Well, that's pretty accurate. And then I used the laser, since we loved the C-can last time, my green laser going up, up, and then we marked, used my straight edge and a pencil. You can see one arrow over here. I'm pointing way up above the picture here. And measured the top, did the same with the top. Height of the door plus 1/4 inch plus 1/8, give or take a little bit. So I mean, that's pretty much that. Let's get cutting, I guess. Alright, so we made some pretty good progress there. Got the door all cut out after we laid it out like that. Zip cut, abrasive cutting wheel and angle grinder. Basically shot for outside of my marked line to give me a little bit more wiggle room, which will hopefully work out to about a 1/4 inch wiggle room once the door gets fitted. Polished off the bottom because that's hard to cut straight. Took about 2 inches of paint off the inside and the outside so we get a weld that's not in our way. And hopefully it'll reduce the burning of the paint in the air. When I do weld this, for the bulk of the welding, I will end up having my good respirator here. Don't have it now. It's not the healthiest thing in the world, but lots of airflow, lots of outside. However, not the best. We will be doing better. You should do better. Yeah, all the way around the door. So I'm just gonna measure up, even though I kind of have a pretty close idea of what I want. And we're gonna cut the 4 inch flat bar by 1/4. And fit this in, tack it in place, and then try and fit the door before we full seal the outside bead, and probably stitch the inside real good. No fun staring into the eye of a zip cut with just safety glasses. That's just asking for a cut up face. Grinding wheel, a little less dangerous. Flapper wheel, a little less dangerous, but it's still good to have. Especially when you're paying for your own zip cut discs and you want to get the most out of them. It's really nice to be as safe as you can. Well, holy crap. It fits. Fits pretty damn nice. I'll take it. I can just one-hand a tape measure here. We're 47 1/16 plus 1.5 inches on each side plus 1/4 inch on each side brings us to 50 1/8. Is that math right? No. We're 50 9/16 wide, and then simpler breakdown of the vertical as well will be 32 1/11, 1.5 inches and 1/4 on each side. Bing bada boom. Let's lay this out on the wall. Right, there she is. 50 9/16 wide and 30 3/16 tall. All laid out. Let's get chopping. After a quick double check of my measurements. Over actually, but let's just see if she's symmetrical and call it good. Beauty fit. Alright, so pretty big jump in project progression here. To talking again, what we missed was finishing welding in the window and the door in full steel and doing the hatch all the way in the back. I'll show you a couple B-roll shots right here of those welds after paint and the grind on the outside if I can. But then it's time to talk about the paint, and here we have it. Because there was some polished up steel with a wire wheel on the outside, and it wasn't just mill scale and weld we were painting on, it's highly recommended to use a bonding primer. So the outside and the inside, I just did it for a little bit of corrosion protection. Extra due care and attention to the outside. 2 good layers of the bonding primer went down, and then this is the high-end, I can't tell you the brand name, but this is what was called it's still a latex base, I believe. Architectural paint. It was what was recommended by Cloverdale. It's Cloverdale Multi-Master. It is a VST acrylic polyurethane enamel, not a latex base. I was wrong. Talking on my ass here. But yeah, and it was color matched to them. Cut down from the cable transit. And yeah, now on we go. So today's as good as any. We're about halfway down the ceiling supports, but I thought it was time to go over what I'm doing with them. So haven't decided on the centers for the wall yet, whether it's gonna be 16 or 24, but the ceiling, definitely going for 24-inch centers, and I wanted some structure. So we're doing 2x2 by quarter angle iron. Already got them pre-painted in just the good quality paint that I had for that matches the outside of the C-can. Basically they're going just a little over 2 1/8 down from the ceiling so that it accommodates the insulation I'm putting in, as well as I will be putting a piece of flat bar above each one and probably just construction adhesing it to the ceiling, just because eventually I'll store stuff on top of the C-can. that'll give that some structure, which is nice. So basically I'm just gonna show you a little bit of layout, polish off the paint, cut the ones that I've already made. I believe there's 20 or 21 of them if you count. Starting at 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, all the way through the centers. And weld a couple in, and then I'm gonna do the same paint procedure I did, which is prime and then paint with that quality paint I had. I don't really care for the color in here because it's just what I had. It's just what I have still. It's just for a little future corrosion protection. We can talk about that a little bit different with the, a little bit later with the insulation, but anyways, here we go. We're just going with a, I believe, 2" by 1/4 by 6 piece of flat bar, and it's just going to go above and contact at least 2 points or one large point of the C-can ceiling. It'll go up there. You're going to do a nice, 1" weld, whatever. Weld it to the center of each truss, if you want to call it that. And then after, we'll put a wedge in the ceiling, a little bit of construction adhesive on top, and then let the ceiling sit back down. And that'll just give us some rigidity if we ever put things on top of the C-can and for snow load and walking up there for different reasons in the future. So right now I just got the laser down the middle. Gonna go take the wheel and knock off a little bit of paint on each one all the way down, and do the last bit of welding for a long time. All right, so let's put this window in that hole. So my plan is those are some ripped 2x4s down to 2 3/4 wide, framed up to fit in here, give or take a little bit. Just did some exterior window door trim paint for now. It'll be touched up later because we're gonna mess it up a bit, I think. So that is going to sit in this windowsill and the window will be inside. So the plan is to take that, put it around that because it's a tight fit, and then adjust the outside to fit in here if we need to. But anyways, we're still gonna have at least almost 1.5 inches of wood to bite in with a screw. So the idea I'm gonna go with is drill on the inside through this, I guess, this frame, and screw into that from the outside. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and start getting this window in here. Now that our window is permanently installed, if the window were to ever need to be replaced, take out these screws and it'd be really tight as you saw me hammering it in there, but the window should come out of the wood and the wood could stay. Yeah, so we're just screwed in to that all the way around. I did a bit of clear silicone all the way around, and at a later date we'll be building a trim to go in here with a nice 45 for the 90-degree corners all the way around, and she'll look real sharp. Alright, now that we have all the holes drilled in our door frame and the door slightly sanded, let's see if I can fit a door in that door frame without breaking it this time. Just finished putting some outdoor caulk on just yesterday, so it's a little bit tacky still because of the temperature outside around this window frame that we put in. Trimmed it out, so all that's left for this part to finish the window and the door. I'm not doing anything with the other two entries I have done yet. They're just full of foam for now. They're getting put on the back seat, the back burner. Yeah, slightly different product, but same idea around the door. But basically all that's left to do is give those in a couple days from now when it's probably nicer out, hopefully, even though there's snow in the forecast. Put a coat of paint on, tape off the C-can, the painted part, and just, you know, give that a coat of paint, outdoor paint, and we're done. So this is what the inside looks like at the end of this. Ignore this wall, we're going to talk about that in the next segment. 8 months from now, if I got the right. That's a joke, hopefully should be sooner. Yeah, doors in, shims on either side. Pre-drilled holes in the frame so I can screw in. So if this door ever has to come out, it's going to be a pain in the ass for a complete demo. Fit in pretty well actually. Window, similar deal, except you could take the window out and leave the frame screwed into the C-can. But yeah. Well anyways, thanks for watching. I really don't know what this video is going to turn into because it's been chaotic, jumping here, jumping there, doing this, painting the floor before I put the door down, even though like paint is a later topic to talk to. So yeah, it's been fun. Next up, framing, insulation, walls, hopefully an exhaust fan, painting those. See you there, hopefully. Fuck, that's a blooper and a half. Oh. Literally just talking about being safety conscious and I proceed to properly light my shirt on fire. Well, ain't this fun?